You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. Welcome, one and all. I'm your boy, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. Today, we have an amazing show, man. We got a homie from El Caribe that's doing some amazing stuff, in the digital world, introducing people to amazing creators from the Caribbean. My man is rocking, and let me introduce the one and only from Alluhwi Comics, Mr. Marc Gibson. What up, kiddo? How you doing?
I am good, man. Al, thanks for having me here. I'm glad to be here. I'm stoked. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it, kiddo, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate taking some time today to put people on to the greatness and awesomeness of this amazing thing you got going on with Alluhwi Comics. Now, before we get into that juicy goodness that you got going on, let's get kind of acquainted with whom you are. Let's let people know who you are. So, Marc, man, where you hail from? Where you from?
I am born and bred from Barbados. I've never really lived anywhere else. I've visited a couple of places, but my home, as we say here, my navel string is buried right here in Barbados.
Okay, great. So, how was that community growing up in Barbados as a youngin?
I can't imagine living anywhere else. We've got similar, I guess, stresses, similar trials. But I think it was very much a fantastic opportunity growing up here. Sun, the usual stuff, the tourism type stuff. We've had that, going to the beach, hanging out during mango season, raiding the mango tree, eating till you're sick, eating mangoes till you're sick, that kind of fun stuff.
Well, I don't blame you about the eating, man. There's nothing but good food over there. Shit. Damn.
Yeah. Macaroni pie, flying fish. Not a huge cuckoo fan, so hopefully don't get deported for that. Cuckoo is still our national dish.
Oh, man, too bad we're alive, because I can't blank that out now. Your people are going to ban you right now.
I hope not, man. I hope not. But yeah, man, growing up in Barbados is fun.
That's
Can't
awesome.
change it for anything.
All right, so let me ask you then. So, here we are, you are this person that loves comics and all, and I want to get into those origins now. So what was your first taste of the fandom, and who introduced you to it?
All right, so my very first taste was with the daily papers, right?
Okay.
We have papers, newspapers coming out every day. We got them on Sundays. The Sunday papers were really cool because you had this little booklet of these comic books. So, the syndicated stuff, Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes, Spider-Man. During the week, you had things like Mandrake the Magician, Modesty Blaze, Phantom. So that was my first real, I guess, taste of comics. My mom would tell people that I used to love comics before I actually could read, because I would, pull out the little insert. The first page I would dive into in the paper would be the pages with the comics. Dive in there, and I'm sitting there and I'm cackling my little head off before I, could read properly.
I love that, man. Cause I laugh because I kind of did the same shit, especially the Sunday papers. Who cares what's going on in the world? What the hell's going on here in the comics? That's what I care about.
That's right. I didn't care about the front page. I didn't care about the back page. I didn't care about sports.
Right.
Comic books, the comic pages, those were it. But at 10, I was spending a summer with my godparents, and their son, he literally blew my mind. He introduced me.
May I ask something here before you continue? Is this still in Barbados?
This is still in Barbados.
Okay.
Still in Barbados. I was 10 years old that summer, and I was literally given a suitcase, a medium-sized suitcase filled with comic books.
Get out of here! A medium-sized suitcase
filled with comic books. I'm not kidding you, man. That was. I still think of that as my best summer ever. It was probably my best behaved summer. No lie, because I just wanted to read these comics.
Nice.
And I just dive in, I guess, and he was like, this is his collection. Be careful with it. Be respectful. I'm like, all right, cool. I got that. I didn't want to like mess up any pages or anything like that, so I
Yeah.
was very careful and I pull out stacks of comic books. I've got them spread across this bed, and I'm just reading them. And I'm picking them up one after the other and reading them.
Was there
And it took
anyone in particular that struck you? That was the first one you picked up that struck you.
so the one that sticks in my head is um I want to get the number right, but it's an issue of Flash where Wally West was the Flash, and he has to race Superman to save Jimmy Olsen. And this is Wally with the kind of like shiny reflective suit,
Okay.
and I found it interesting because he didn't have a full secret identity. He actually had like this little card, saying he, with his Flash picture on it and his name on it. And I thought that's like that's different, and
Like,
that
why wear a mask then,
yeah,
right?
wear a mask, and he's running across water trying to get to this island, where Jimmy Olsen. I don't remember the exact storyline, and I do still have like a tattered copy of that. I found a copy in like a bargain basement for that, and I was like, yeah, I gotta have that because that's the one that sticks in my head.
Don't you love that when you find something from your childhood? You're like, I don't give a shit if you think this is whack. This is my special memory.
Yeah, and that was it. I think 10 that summer at 10, it was the time where I started to like figure out my own taste in comic books, figure out which heroes I like or which teams I like.
Okay.
And that suitcase had in everything. It had in Spider-Man, it had in X-Men, DC stuff, Marvel stuff. Um, but yeah, man, that was a defining moment for me.
Excellent, excellent. Love it, love it. So now you started, apparently going into a very creative journey.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
um, as we lead into that creative journey, and you're talking about you have these comics, did you find your tribe easily in Barbados of people that also enjoy the culture that became a circle of friends, or were you kind of a loner, you know, in this culture there?
Barbados is like growing up with comics. It was similar to a lot of other places I've heard speaking to people, because at that time, like 10 years old, going into what Americans call high school, secondary school for us,
Yeah.
um, comics were still kind of very much niche. You were very much a nerd or a geek reading comics. Uh, so it was both simple and hard to kind of find a tribe, because adults were like, oh, comic books are kids, they're stupid, stop reading that stuff, read real books.
Uh,
um
Not knowing that these people are actual fucking authors, like shut up. Do you know who's writing these book comics? Right?
exactly. I can still remember, in secondary school, when the Death of Superman came out. That was like kind of like a mainstream moment,
Yeah.
because everybody was talking about this thing.
So you were
People were
cool in school. What grade were you in then?
oh, I
Or
I
were
think
you
I
in
was
school? Because look at my old ass asking that.
I was
But
still in school. I was still in secondary school. I think I was that was what, second form, maybe.
okay,
12, 13, maybe.
okay,
Time, man, I have this weird relationship with time, so dates and stuff don't stick in my head that well.
gotcha.
But yeah, I remember the experience. I remember the emotions, and people who I would not have seen talking about comic books, talking about, did you hear Superman died? Some monster killed him. It's like, are you for real? And it was this huge
Oh, that's when you stepped in. Well,
emotional
that
wave.
monster's name is Doomsday, and he comes like, yo, from here. Yeah,
Yeah.
your lunchroom doing circles. And this is what I first, yeah, I see for you. Like, this is what happened, right? In the lunchrooms, you were telling the tales of the mighty Doomsday.
Yeah, and at that point, I could tell you every major event in DC from Crisis.
Nice.
I had all that stuff somehow memorized in my head. Learning math, forget about it. Learning science, forget about it. But I could tell
Who
you
needs
every
that?
major I could tell you every major event in DC at that point. I'm very much a DC fanboy.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I got my loves
It's
from
okay.
Marvel,
It's okay,
but
bro.
DC kind of like really hooked me from that point.
I could say that DC was, my first comic was a Marvel comic, and I did the Marvel stuff. But it was
Hmm.
definitely a lot of the DC stuff that hooked me. Kind of, legacy characters and stories that use history. I like when they do that. Marvel, likes to just keep hitting the reboot button. But at least with DC for a while, they kind of knew how to use their history, so it was made for a lot of very entertaining stories. At least
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
So I could rock with you there. So, um, so you didn't find the tribe.
It was a small trade.
He was very
I think
small.
I think
Small.
I think things really got trade ish was with we had a couple of comic book stores here. Like
Okay.
your local comic book shop. My favorite was Comic Craze. That moved around a bit over the years, but in they had a location in Bridgetown, or Capital, and I would leave school and I would go straight there, and I'm there for a couple of hours, being able to talk comic books. The guy that ran that store, Carl was cool, man. Carl had this kind of like guardian um mentality.
Okay.
So he was going to talk to if you were looking to get into comics. He was going to talk to about comic books in general. I spent a whole bunch of time just talking to Carl about comics.
Nice.
And it wasn't like arguments. It was discussions. It was, hey, so if you're interested in this character, maybe you want to check out this character. Really helpful. So big shout out to
Nice.
Carl, Carl Sargent. He was really great in being there, having somebody at that age to like talk to comics about. Carl's a bit older than me, so it was kind of like a mentor thing
Yeah.
almost. So yeah, definitely comic craze helped with that whole tribe attitude, man.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anyway, and then when did you start getting that creative bug, if you will?
Whoa, that was much later.
How
Here's the
much
funny thing.
later?
Years later. So I published my first graphic novel in 2015.
Okay.
So that was years. Yeah, that was years after the fact. And the thing is, at 10, I never saw myself as creating comic books. I was simply enjoying them. Being having fun, being a fan. I couldn't comprehend being a little black boy from Barbados creating comic books. I didn't cross my mind until years later, and it was actually kind of roundabout. Film is something I've worked in here in the Caribbean.
Okay.
So produced a couple of short films, produced a feature length comedy, um, wrote some screenplays. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Okay.
And I developed a project called Bridgeland, and I wanted it to be my first feature length film. So I had the whole script written out, all the characters and stuff done. Uh, but it was harder getting that traction to do as a film. And we went as far, my team at the time, we went as far as doing casting. We did a bunch of auditions for people. We had, all of our main cast sorted out. Getting the funding to really push that forward took way longer than we had planned. So after the fact, I was just sitting down thinking, all right, I've got this story, I've got this script. Film isn't gaining the traction right now. What else can I do with it? And I realized, dude, you love comic books. Do it as a comic book. And I want to be clear here. I am a writer. I've only really started like trying to draw, and I stress on
Okay.
trying. But I'm a writer, so I had to go and find illustrator to turn the script into comic book pages, and finally published that in 2015 through Amazon. At the time, it was Create Space.
Okay.
So I published that there, and yeah, that was the first time doing it, and it still gives me kind of like disbelief looking back on it. I remember having a guy sit down. We did a launch, small launch here in Barbados. Just to get the word out. And again, I love Barbados, but at that point, it was still, people still didn't take comic books seriously.
Yep. It's still kid stuff to them. Yeah.
It's still kid stuff for them, yeah. Uh, but I had this guy come to the launch. He bought the graphic novel there, and the guy sits at the launch and reads it cover to cover. By the time he launched, and he's shaking my head. He loves it. He thinks it's great. He already has his favorite character, and why did this happen? And that is still very much a mind blowing experience for me, man. When people really become fans of the stuff we create, um, where it hits them kind of like emotionally, they take it on.
Yep.
That's that's always great.
And was that released under that label, or was that prior to you doing Alluhwi Comics?
That was prior to Alluhwi Comics. That was 2015. Alluhwi Comics. The idea for Alluhwi Comics came about 3 years later. Yeah, 3 years later, 2018, and that came about because of here in Barbados we have a convention, a pop culture convention called AnimeCon, AnimeCon Expo.
Okay.
And well, with COVID, AnimeCon hasn't been happening in the last couple of years, which is kind of sad for all kinds of reasons. But just prior to COVID, AnimeCon celebrated their 10th anniversary. That was 2019, I think. But yeah, so I've been to AnimeCon a few years. My first year there was 2012, I think. Yeah, 2012, and it was starting to promote Bridgeland Volume One, my first graphic novel. Building that interest, building that fan base, and going to AnimeCon years after that, I realized that if I'm stuck at my table all day, if I'm stuck at my booth all day during this convention, then I might miss the other comic books that indie guys are doing,
Mm-hmm.
and outside of conventions, you typically have creators looking to push their comics from the back of their car. You message them on Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. It's like, hey, I want to get your comic, and they physically meet you somewhere.
Yeah.
But outside of that, if you can't do those things, if you can't meet them at a convention or meet them somewhere and get it from the back of their car or their bag or something, then reading those comic books isn't easy.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea for all the comics started. I realized that reading authentic Caribbean comic books should be easy, when in fact
Yes.
it's not. You know, so and I with my own graphic novel, I went through the process of trying to get into bookstores. We had one bookstore here that was cool. We'll take it. We'll push it. Um, well, other bookstores were like, I don't know who reads comics, or we'll
Oh
take
wow.
five on consignment, that kind of stuff.
They
Uh,
said who reads comics? They
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean that is still very much
A shout
part of
out
the
to
part of the thing, man.
Multiverse. They give you a big hello, and
Yo, hey,
and
multiverse.
and they agree with you that comic retailers need to be mentors to new readers, just as your boy was.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely, man.
yes, Comic Crusaders Virtual Con 3 is coming, and we're gonna relabel it Crusader Con. Wepa, stay tuned.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. So that
Mhm.
that was the idea behind it, trying to make it easy to read comic books. So easy for fans, whether that's long term fans, whether that's new fans. Um, putting the comic books on their phones, because they realize, hey, everybody has a smartphone. You might not be able to get to a store. We kind of had our comic book stores here kind of die out.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's sad.
yeah, and there was a point where like the traditional bookstores would carry um like Marvel and DC comics,
Yeah,
so
they
you could
only care about the big two. They're like indie. What's that? And then they
yeah
give you manga, tons of manga.
yeah. So But even these days, you're not finding, like, growing up, it was easy to find comic books on, like, spinner racks in pharmacies, at the checkout in supermarkets,
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
bookstores,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but these days, not so much.
No,
But
unfortunately, it's a very, very difficult journey right now
yeah.
as a fan, especially I can't believe it, like in Barbados or Puerto Rico. Yeah,
hmm So no,
no,
if you don't have your stores, it might seem like comic books don't exist. Through the conventions, through AnimeCon Expo here in Barbados, I've been to Alias Entertainment Expo in Trinidad,
oh, nice.
um, and those were places that really showed me the difference. I met dozens of amazing creators from Barbados, from Trinidad, from further afield, and they're having the same challenges. Like, hey, I'm creating cool stuff. How do I get people to read it? Was the process there? So that's the mentality, that's the vision behind Alluhwi Comics. You pay less than the price of coffee, a cup of coffee,
Yeah,
$2.99 US. That's your monthly subscription, and
that's it.
yeah, that's it.
That's it. All right, let's show people this trailer. Look, you send me the trailer. So, let's peep this video real quick, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna talk more about that.
Sounds good.
Ooh, available on Google Play. Is it currently available on Apple too, or just Play Store for now?
Just the Play Store for now. We're in early access on Google Play. We've been officially in beta since 2019. So we started our beta May 2019, and that went really well. We ended that phase of the beta in December of that year. But
Okay.
then, COVID hit. COVID was, for everybody, this huge
Goddamn COVID,
disruption, right?
even fucked up the digital world, if you will. Goddamn, that
Yeah.
is
So that
crazy.
that was a kick in the teeth for us, development
Kick in the
wise.
teeth. There was more than that. I mean, for a lot of creators. I mean, here you are having this beta in this horrendous time, unfortunately. And
Mhm.
yeah, Wepa, that's right. Caribbean Comic Tech. There we go. El Caribe is gonna be kicking it. I love it. Now,
Yeah.
talk about it. Talk about it. I want to learn, like, how can our people, why 299 price point? Because that's amazingly low.
Mhm.
How can creators get involved? Give me the whole spiel right here, kiddo.
All right, so $2.99, again. It goes back to the philosophy, the simple idea. We want comic books to be easy. We don't want you to be having to choose between, are you going to eat today? Are you going to pay your subscription? We want to make it easy. We want to make it accessible for people to subscribe to the platform, and to read these comics. And that subscription, it's an a la carte subscription. You can read as many comics as you can during your subscription, and every month we're looking to add new content,
Wait.
new
Are
creators
you
to the
telling
platform.
me for 299 a month, I have
Mhm.
unlimited access to the library?
That's right,
Oh wow.
unlimited access.
Oh wow.
Again, we want to make it simple, we want to make it easy. The challenge with comics today, right, is onboarding. So if you're a DC or Marvel, you're Superman, you got 80 years behind you, people know who you are, that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, definitely.
uh but if you want to explore something new, which a lot of indie creators are looking to do, you're thinking, hey, I've already got my Netflix subscription, I've already got my my Hulu or my Amazon or whatever.
I got my visual moving media that gives me audio, why should I sit down and read? All right.
Yeah, yeah. So at that price point, yes, it's low. Yes, you've got unlimited access, but we want you to really not think too hard about it. We've got amazing titles on board right now. We have creators from Barbados on board. We've got creators from Trinidad on board. We've got creators, Caribbean creators who are living in the US on board. So you can head to our site, alluhwicomics.com. If you are a creator, you can hit the become a creator button on our website, and it's a simple, straightforward process. You can sign in manually with whatever email you like, or you can use your Google credentials. We're going to be allowing people to sign in as creators using Facebook really, really soon.
Okay.
And from there, you upload your content. So here's the thing, we're looking for Caribbean creators. We're looking, or you can be on a team where at least half of your team is from the Caribbean. So if you're a writer from the Caribbean, from Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, Puerto Rico, and you're looking for a creator, let's say you might get a creator on Upwork or Fiverr or Illustrator from the Philippines, from England,
Yeah,
wherever. That's your 50% there. Cool, no problem. You are eligible to upload your content to the platform.
I love it.
Is really that simple. Again, we're not looking to make any big restrictions. Again, original content. So please don't be ripping off somebody's content and putting on your platform. We're not going to take that. Original, authentic Caribbean content, and it could be any genre, man. It could be comedies. We've got comedies there. We've got sci-fi on there. We've got folklore comics on there. We've got dramas on there. All sort of stuff is welcome. So yeah, thanks, Al. You've got the website up
Yeah, I
again. If
want to
you're a
show it
creator,
right there, right? So you got to just click right there where it says become a creator right here, right?
become a creator. If it's your first time, and just follow the process. Real simple. You can upload your comics, and they're available
Okay.
pretty
So,
damn instantly on the Alluhwi Comics app.
okay.
If
So,
if
yeah.
you are a
So
reader,
I want to ask
same,
though. So if I'm
mhm.
a creator and I upload my comic, so you said it's available immediately. So is there no overview on the content? I'm uploading whatever I want or what?
So here's the reality, right? We could spend time, spend effort, and be like a gatekeeper, saying, "Hey, oh my God, your comics got tits in it." All right. Um, the reality is the fan base or readers,
Yeah.
they're going to be the ones saying, "Hey, this is cool, we love it. Not
Right.
so much cool, we don't like it," and that's it.
And
We're
tits are real. They exist.
tits are real. You know, pretty much half the population has them.
Okay.
Uh, that kind of stuff. So, but again, we we're looking at creators to be human and to be adults, man.
Yeah. I
We don't
mean,
want to
today's
say,
day and age
"Oh,
is kind of tough. You're asking for a lot.
I
That's insane.
I am looking to expect the best
Me
from
too.
our creators."
That's what I want from creators too, yo. Listen, you're creating a beautiful platform for them, and I will
Hmm.
only I will only hope that they're gonna obviously put their best content forward, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And nothing
Um,
crazy. I mean, so talk about that journey though. When did so you said you got better to that? Um how positive has been the reaction to from Caribbean creators?
So part of the journey with all the comics has been education. If the people I'm speaking to, if the person I'm speaking to isn't a comic book fan, then they've got to put in, time and tell them, hey, this is the value of comic books. Comic books are huge these days. Comic books make billions of dollars globally, all that kind of stuff. A whole educational journey there for them. If they're creators, Al, let me tell you, I don't have to explain diddly to these people. It's like, so here's a platform where you can upload your comic books and people can read them on their phones. Really? Okay, here, have my content. Here, just take it. I'm like, no. There's a process. You can upload it yourself. I can upload it myself. Really cool. How do I do that? I walk them through it. Um, Earlier this year, I spent quite a bit of time doing demos for creators,
Yeah.
and they just get it, man. They don't need any
Creators
love
want to
speak.
create. They want to be able to create their content and have a platform to do what they do and trust in the
Yep,
platform. I mean,
yep. That's
creators
that's
don't
it.
have that this type of time to be so edgy on shit. Let me put my stuff out. I need to put it out there. So this
Yep.
is great, and it's just like multiverse shot again. And a shout out to multiverse folks because that's just another amazing platform. Before we move forward, real quick, I need you to follow up and stay up on these folks right here because they just amazing, all right? And a big shout out to them. But their comment right there is right. It's true. A nice niche product, right, that promotes those with roots from the islands, just
Yeah,
like myself.
yeah. So here's a story for you, right? A fan of mine. She's from Barbados originally, but she's been living in the UK for years, right? And through social media, she heard about Bridgeland Volume One, and she was like, "Yeah, I gotta have it. How do we get it?" And I said, "Hey, it's available on Amazon. Check out your Amazon store, and get it." And she did that. She did tell me straight, "Hey, listen, the cost of shipping on this thing was more than the cost of the book." Which is kind of like another influence point for all the comics. Why should you have to pay like 2 or 3 times the shipping for
Yeah.
the actual book to read it?
Agreed,
You get
agreed.
you
My
get it on
boy in
your phone.
Australia, my boy in Australia goes through that all the time. He loves his
Hmm.
print books, but he finds himself always paying for shipping a lot more than the actual product. It's kind of
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. So but she's a huge fan, but she's hungry for content from home, from Barbados, from the Caribbean. I'm finding that you've got a lot of Caribbean people who are living outside of the Caribbean in the diaspora, and they still have kind of one eye on home, and they're looking for stuff from home. You've got second generation Caribbean people who have grown up in the States or in the UK, but they're raised in the Caribbean household, and they're kind of looking back like, all right, what can I find that speaks to that side of me,
Hmm.
with that. So all the comics is like this great hub, this meeting point. If you're a fan, no matter where you are in the world, yes, right now we're available for Android devices, but if you are an Apple fan, we're going to be looking on bringing the app out for you
Yeah.
on iOS as well.
I get it too. iOS is a little bit more trickier. Android
Yeah,
is so much easier to do an app
yeah,
for, but Apple does have its little of a quirks that need to be addressed, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
and additional costs that are going to be incurred with them as well.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Developing for Android is easier. It
Way,
generally has been easier. Not without its challenges. Right now, we're putting some finishing tweaks on the app itself. So right now we're in phase 3 of our beta, which is all about the
nice.
subscription element. Again, you pay that crazy low $2.99
That's what I'm saying, but you
for.
sound like Tom McFarlane on that 299 price point. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I know you're old enough. I am old enough. I remember when comic books used to be below that price point. You can
Yeah,
buy
but
your physical comic book.
I love it.
You
He
pay.
doesn't want to say numbers because I'm not gonna age myself. He says, but the man with that white hair. Well, I remember at least the earliest I believe that I saw as a kid.
Mhm.
Like official was about the 60 cents price point that I actually saw. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that I was picking up. I mean, anything before that, then that was just back issues.
yeah. I remember paying. So exchange rate for Barbados is about 2 to 1 to US. So paying about $5 Barbados, so 250, $2.50 US,
Oh, what?
for comic books.
Oh, wow, dude.
Um,
Damn,
yeah,
they're pricey over there, kiddo. Shit.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
No wonder it was so niche. They're like, damn, bro, it's either I'm gonna get a snack or a book.
the way save up bus fare, and walk
Oh
so you
man,
can buy
so you
comics.
walked, huh? So you walked a lot, didn't you? So you know what
Yeah,
though? You were costing your parents more money because you were probably wasting sneakers like a motherfucker walking home.
taking those steps, man. But hey, if you're a comic book fan, you know that struggle, man. You
Oh
know you
yeah, I
want to
get it.
read that stuff.
Bro,
So
I
here,
was saving everything, kiddo. You have no idea.
I could imagine that, man. Choosing to go hungry so you could pick up a couple of
Yeah.
issues.
Do I
Yeah.
need lunch today? No, I don't. Today's Wednesday.
Today is pull list day. That's right. That's right. So I
Uh,
mean, but hey, I mean, we've got uh a number of amazing creators here, as I mentioned. Um, Chris and Wendell Riley. They're originally from Trinidad. Wendell
Beautiful.
is living in the U.S. Right now. Chris is still in Trinidad. Last time I spoke to him, we've got Nigel Lynch and Matthew Clark from Barbados. Those guys have been huge supporters of all the comics. Here's another story. They were one of the first creators to say shut up and take my content, putting their content out on the platform
Oh,
when
nice.
we started the beta. But then they got a deal with Abrams Megascope. So the title they put on the platform initially, Hard Dares, got picked up by
Okay.
Abrams Megascope, and they were like, "Hey, sorry, Mark, we got to pull this stuff. We got this deal. We can't really talk too much
Yeah.
about it at that point, but we got to pull this stuff." I'm like, "Hey, dude, here's the thing. You guys upload the content. You guys have full
Control.
control of your content. So if you need to pull it, I appreciate the update. Congratulations. But hey, that's at you." And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give you some new stuff to replace it." I'm like, "Hey, cool, man. Congratulations, guys. This is a big deal. But hey, thank you for being a supporter of all the comics."
So
So
that's
it's
important. Creator owned, they have full control of whatever content they upload. Period.
mhm, full
Okay.
full control. They own their rights, save giving all the comics the right to distribute the content uh, on mobile devices. So I don't want any creator to think, "Hey, man, this guy's gonna snatch my stuff."
Yeah.
I'm a creator myself, so I don't have any tolerance for that kind of behavior. Your content is still your content. We just want to make it easy for people to read it, no matter where they are in the world.
Gotcha.
During that beta, that's phase 2 beta, we had people from the usual places: Barbados, Trinidad, the US, the UK, reading stuff. But then we have people connecting from Africa,
Oh,
reading these
great.
amazing comics. We have people from Japan, um, you know, jumping on the app looking to read comics. So that's amazing. Um, but beyond being a creator on the app, we're also looking to do other cool things for creators here in the Caribbean. We're putting the finishing touches on a merch store. So again, the creators will still own their IP. We don't want it. We just want to share it with the world. So if creators want to do T-shirts or mugs or sneakers, that's something that we're putting together for creators as well,
Awesome.
and as well as crowdfunding. Right now, I mentioned Nigel Lynch. We've been working with Nigel. He is kind of our guinea pig. One of the things we're doing for creators as well is giving them access to Kickstarter here in the Caribbean. I mean, globally, Kickstarter is huge for comic books. During the pandemic, just
Hmm.
last year, they generated something like $25 million from comic books alone.
Crazy money. Crazy money.
Crazy, you know. But here in the Caribbean, um, Barbados, Trinidad, none of the Caribbean islands are whitelisted on Kickstarter. So we've been working behind the scenes to make that available, so that
Mm.
our creators, they can get that Kickstarter love, they can get that Kickstarter support, they can keep making content. So we're working with Nigel for a new title he's doing called The Diary of the Stray Dogs, The Wounded, a completely new sci-fi kind of cyberpunk-ish world
Yes.
he's building, and we're gonna be bringing that to Kickstarter just next year. So literally like next month, actually February, we're going to roll out that Kickstarter, and that's something we're looking to do for as many of our creators as possible, giving them a chance to get their existing content out there, but as well create amazing new mind-blowing worlds, characters,
Wonderful.
universes.
Wonderful. So I do have one question and that I was thinking about as you were speaking and talking about creators and whatnot, and the price points and all. So is there any type of revenue share or the creators get any type of kickback for the books that they upload?
Yeah, so our subscription model is a revenue share model.
Okay.
where um, right now we're operating with a top creators list monthly. So, and that is judged on reads. So
Okay.
if you, let's say you Al, you got a comic on our platform and you've got the number one reads for the month of February, you get the highest split. So
Okay.
70% of the subscriptions go into a creator pool, and the creators
Ah,
who
nice.
have the top reads for that month, they get a split for that. So
Gotcha.
biggest chunk from number one down to number 10. As the platform grows, we're looking to expand the reader list and give as many creators on our platform as possible that chance to earn revenue
Nice.
directly from subscriptions, because that's important for
Nice.
us. Um, but like I said, other ways we're looking to help our creators monetize their content is through our merch store. So this is an All the Comics t-shirt.
Yeah, man. I
That
see,
is,
man. It's fire, fire. Loving the logo. Okay.
thank you. That is for the platform. So the platform will have its own merch as well. But if you're a
Nice.
creator, you get to put your own stuff out there, your own logos, your own
Nice.
characters. And we're looking to give people the expected stuff. So shirts,
So basically,
stickers.
yeah, they could upload their logos and then whatever products to be available through you guys. You guys do the shipping, and through that, there's obviously a revenue share split. Because I'm
Yeah.
doing the shipping, I'm leasing your logo. This is whatever split that you guys
Mhm.
agree upon. Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
nice, nice.
So ways like that to push our creators further, help them make some buck.
Yeah,
To do
man, make
that,
some money without spending money.
that's right. That's right. Building their fan base. That's the kind of good stuff we're doing here with All We Comics.
I love it, man. Yeah, only for people from the Caribe are this amazing and helpful. This is what it is for real. We're all about giving and helping, man. I'm happy to have met you, man. Big shout out to Dion for connecting us, man. I'm digging the mission. So my
Thank you.
last
Thank you.
my last thing here I want to know is like, what do you foresee truly for the future of all of we? Like, what's your ideal, situation you want to see?
Here's what I want to
Speak
see,
it
man.
unto the world. Speak it. Speak it.
I'm a huge fan of comic books. I've loved the last 10, 11 years with Marvel putting out movies and shows and that kind of stuff. That's where I want to get to. I want to see a Caribbean creator developing their comic book into some other format, into a TV show, into an animated show, into a movie. That's what I want to see. I want to be able to say, hey, listen, this guy, this gal, this person, they started out with All the Comics. All the Comics helped them to grow, to get out there,
Gotcha.
to be known. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
want to
man. They
see
put
with
their
All the Comics.
seeds here. Isn't that awesome?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, when people in 5 years are talking about comic books, I want to hear Caribbean content being mentioned. I want to hear Caribbean creators' names being mentioned. I want to see my
Great.
people, getting that hookup, that Amazon Prime, that Amazon
Yeah,
Video, that
man. That
Netflix.
Hulu, that
Yeah.
Netflix, bring it on, kiddo. Whatever the hell you got, that HBO Max. Come on, bring it home,
Hmm.
kiddos.
I mean, I've actually been talking to animators here in the Caribbean, and
Really? Okay.
that's the kind of push I want to go. I want to be able to
You should. I mean,
see
did
that
you
stuff.
see the Netflix anime, Latino anime Seis Manos?
Yes,
Wasn't
yes,
that
I
amazing
am.
to see ourselves in something like that though? And it's like, okay, so what else can we
Hmm.
do? Now I want to
Hmm.
see some all the we characters in that bad boy doing that same style.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
wouldn't that
right.
be amazing?
That would be mind blowing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love it, brother. And then very last point here, as a creator, what any pieces of advice you could give to anyone that's also, trying to come up.
You gotta commit, man. You gotta have that passion. You gotta have that vision, and you gotta be willing to commit. For myself, I never imagined myself building a platform like this. I just wanted to write comic books. I just want to read comic books.
Wow.
But you gotta figure out what's the change I want to be in the world. So for me, it was not being able to get Caribbean comic books. I wanted to make that easier for myself. I wanted to make it easier for other people. I wanted to change the conversation from who reads comic books to have you read this comic book this month, this week,
love
whatever.
it. Preach.
That's where I'm at, man. So you need to be resilient. You need to have that passion. You need to have that vision. It's going to be scary putting yourself out there. But hey, man, if I didn't put myself out there, if I didn't get my team reaching out to people, shout out to Suzanne, an amazing creator herself, an amazing illustrator. She is probably my biggest cheerleader. I'm so glad to have her on board. Shout out to Tamara. Tamara is the person handling the marketing and the promotion, running around. So thanks for that. Shout out to Adriel. He's doing a lot of the web dev for the platform. Shout out to Rashad, who helped make this app happen. I am super grateful for these guys. They are all comic book fans, so that makes it easier. So yeah, man, team up, find your tribe, have that passion, that vision, that resilience, and try to make something better.
I love it, man. And like you said, you're putting yourself out there. I always like to give, creators their flowers. So thank you for being that bold and brave, my brother. So, put yourself out there like that. And especially with what you're doing for our gente from El Caribe, and put that sazon, that good spice on that good stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
So thank you for taking that chance. I appreciate it. And I know many of others will. And of course, many others outside of us, are going to start having a taste of the greatness of El Caribe through Alluhwi Comics. And folks, let me show you one last time. Please visit the website, Alluhwi Comics. We with the wicomics.com. Right?
That's right.
And please show the love also on Instagram, get the teasers, get the everything right there. And of course, if you're a creator, visit the website. It's right there, front and center. Become a creator. So if you are a creator from El Caribe or half your team is, of Caribbean descent, please, submit, man. I love what you're doing, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. You're awesome. With that, folks, you know what my outro tells you everything to do, all right? And one last shout to the big homie Dion Wilson.
That's
Multiverse
right.
That connected us. Thank you, Multiverse, folks. This is the future of blockchain for comics right here. Not just comics, but anyone that has actual assets, product, things that you guys are creating that you think has no value. It may have value to someone else. There's something that's on the future tip right here. Folks, you got to stay tuned with everything that they're doing. It's an amazing, company, all right? And so thanks for hanging out, everybody. Everybody rocks. Hasta la próxima. Later.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.